everybody, welcome back to Alan Walker Theories, and today I'm going to be analyzing the Fake a Smile music video since there's kind of a lot going on and not a lot of explanation. So just starting at the beginning, we open on this mountaintop chalet and we see these little meteors falling around in the background. I think this might imply maybe the existence of a solar storm. This would actually be the third one, I think. I'll get into theories about this later, but for now, just note that the world is sort of in ruins. Then we go into our main character, and she's in a swimsuit. I do not know the symbolism of a swimsuit. She's not in this any other time in the video. This is kind of beyond me, but I will move on and pretend this doesn't exist. Very interesting. We actually get this frame. So let's just unpack the text that's on the screen. So obviously we have the title. It says year 2090. And within a timeline, and again, I'll talk about this later, this makes a lot of sense because after the main timeline where most things are set, which is around 2025. So this is very deep into the ruins. This is, the major solar storm, the attack of Red Nexus that I think happened, has been going on for at least 65 years. So this is very far into the future. So just keep that as a note. In this corner down here, when I take a screenshot and I zoom in, it says 28300 88888, which is the main character's ID number. 28300 was the girl from the previous music videos. And then we see Lily, which, if you saw the World of Walker 2021 trailer, is 28300's real name. And then we see Alita, which is coincidentally the actor that plays 88888. That's her middle name. So I'm thinking that's the name of this character. I'm gonna call her Alita from now on because I can't say all those 8s all over again. And then on the other side, we see just AV8, a string of numbers that I can't really figure out. And then we see 8 prophecy discs. And right now, I think we have 5, let me count. The original trilogy that we saw in the World of Walker 2021 trailer, the World of Walker trilogy, Different World, and we have Diamond Heart, which has its own one. So we have 4 right now. Then we have 1 from the live performances that the drone fits into. So I think we have 5 of 8 prophecy discs so far. And 8 sort of the magical number in the World of Walker universe. I mean, there's 8 everything. AV8, RX8, 88888. And I mean, I think it's Alan's favorite number. Regardless, note that it's a significant number in this video. Aside from that, not much to unpack other than the little guns that are now on top of the AV8. In regards to this scene, again, I just want to address, I don't think this happens after war, even though it sort of seems like, oh, maybe these are some ruins of, post-war stuff. I just think that they previously had drones deployed in this area and they sort of died and she's in hiding. Like they tried to come after her, I'm guessing. So food for thought there. Then we just pan to this other group of walkers, sort of self-explanatory. We meet them later on. Okay, then we get to this scene. And if you look at the flag, it actually shows the Red Nexus headquarters, which again, you see later in the video, but it shows very interesting sets of coordinates. Now, this flag showed these same coordinates, but it actually shows 2 sets. You can see these coordinates. One of them leads to nowhere at all, and one of them leads to the middle of the ocean, which is totally bizarre. So then she goes and she meets the other walkers. So the monument from Darkside, which name I can't pronounce, on screen. We also see this in the World of Walker 2021 trailer. It's a major monument that the drones like to scan and duplicate. This seems to be broken and put all over the different fields. So obviously this has a significance to the walkers, and Red Nexus probably wanted to destroy it. Maybe this has some sort of deeper meaning to facilitate the growth of the walker civilization. We actually see a drone crashing to the ground with the walkers. So again, I assume this is sort of in the midst of warfare. I don't really know what else there is to explain about this part directly. I am going to skim through a lot of this because if you watch the video, you've seen it. It doesn't really have a lot of implications to the meaning of the video. All right, now just to note, this setting was actually directly taken from the Time cover art. This is obviously the post-apocalyptic world created by Red Nexus as part of their reign, I assume. This is their headquarters, obviously, and she goes inside and then you see her in these tunnels afterwards. I don't know how she got there, but we're just gonna pretend this makes sense. We see the science lab for developing the RX-8s. So now once she walks inside, you do see the RX-8 blueprints on the computers. I will assume that it's obviously underneath the layer because it's not gonna be made in the water. It's not probably gonna be manufactured out in the open. The Walker excavations sort of implies that those drones are actually being made in the secret lab. And we have a peek at that layer, so I'm gonna guess That's probably what that lab is, this. Regardless, we have this very interesting scene, and she looks at these members of Red Nexus. And these are probably 5 major, like, captains. And then we have this big picture, and then these 2, like, plaques on the side. And they have this phrase on it that I cannot pronounce. It's Latin. It's like semper fidelis. I'm not entirely sure. It means always loyal or always faithful. So obviously this is sort of an implication to how Red Nexus sort of has a cult-like following and how they're always going to remain devoted to their cause. It's kind of creepy, but I assume these, like, captains, I guess, of Red Nexus were awarded these for their military effort. So we actually get this very interesting scene where we pan in and she seems to have this sort of flashback because she closes her eyes and everything gets all blurry around the edges. So clearly this is meant to be a deviation of the main timeline. So just to recap, so Alita's on the mountain. She finds a flag left by other walkers, I assume with the coordinates of Red Nexus and their headquarters. She meets other walkers there and goes inside and then has this flashback. Or it could potentially be a flash forward or like a vision. There's a lot of visions, flashbacks, flash forwards in the world of Walker. Like we see that in Heading Home. So I'm just going to say that this is just a separate timeline. I don't really think when it happened is super important to the meaning of the video, however. So just play along with it. So we just see Red Nexus coming out of the gates and they've got armies, they've got drones. Oh, also, they're like torturing an AV-8 here, I think, presumably to figure out how it works. Because I know in the Walker excavations, it was mentioned that they stole Walker technology and that's how they developed their drones. So I think that's very interesting to note that this may have been how they did it. They literally may have captured it and like chained it up and it just like wiggles there. This guy, he is really creepy. I'm guessing he is a leader of Red Nexus because they wouldn't pay all of this money just to have some random guy just show his face for like half a second. Like this guy is significant and I'm convinced of it because he's like evilly smiling at the torturing of a drone. Horses. Why does Red Nexus have horses? This is 2090. Do they not have cars? Why are they on horses? They have high-tech drones and they prance around like they're ready to joust people. I don't get it. Ugh. Also, I really want to know the budget these videos had. How do you just get horses and people who know how to ride horses in your video for 1 second of screen time? Are the horses coming back? Oh, and then we see some of the walkers running away from Red Nexus. I think this is sort of also pivotal because in the next scene, we see him like being locked up. He's like screaming and it's very weird. And I think, again, Walker excavations, Lily had mentioned that they locked up researchers and kept them prisoners. So this is definitely not out of line for how they've been characterized. I'm assuming it's just because they fought back and they don't want them as a threat anymore. I kind of feel like going back to the flag that Alita found in the mountain. Flags have always been a method of walker communication, so I'm assuming other walkers left it up there for other walkers to find in case the other walkers who left it there didn't make it to the Red Nexus headquarters and didn't make it out alive or just weren't able to take them down. So I'm sort of assuming this is not the first time this has happened. Just sort of based on the context of Alan's posts, they said after the solar storm. They very clearly implied that this happens at the time of the solar storm, which was listed to be 2025 as of like a few months ago when this trailer came out. And I think this is either the ruins of the solar storm, a war, but I think Red Nexus like exploited that part of the solar storm and that's what caused their like reign of terror, and the walkers have been rebelling ever since. I think that's sort of how it works. So, food for thought. The drones, which were ancient walker technology, now have guns on them. So I'm assuming this was an addition made by walkers, not something they would have found in the crates of the ancient walkers, because there's no way that just isn't logical. Our singular shot of Alan, he wasn't in the entire video, but like we just get this one shot of him. So I'm thinking maybe it's a teaser for the fact that he's in an upcoming video. Because I believe he literally said he was going to be in the next music video, and I don't think this counts. This could be anybody. I just think it's weird that he only appears once, as if maybe he's coming into Red Nexus too after the walkers, and then he starts leading them. Because he was a founder of the modern Walker network. I don't know, man. Oh, this very bizarre Red Nexus fight scene. I don't know where this is. Sort of. Is this the same warehouse Space Melody was filmed at, if I recall correctly? It's just very weird because he like runs at him and he just like, he runs with his arm out and just hits him. It's not really like a punch. So, good try, Red Nexus, but I'm pretty sure the walkers can beat you in hand-to-hand combat. They're being shot at. Ooh, peep the dead body right here. That's fun. I would hate to be that guy who was just told to lay there on the ground while people would like jump over him. Oh, this scene. I love this callback to Alone, with at the end, every character like stares into the camera and takes their mask down. This is like really cool to me. I don't know why, but it's just like nice symbolism. Like, and then I think also in reference, the Instagram post sort of from Alan said that the walkers are rejoining at Alone to fight Red Nexus. So this could really like tie into that event very well. Also, if you are looking for information on the timeline, I will go over that later in this video. We do have a timeline up here, but it's very inaccurate for the time being because everything got slotted in and shifted around. Even though this was at one point an accurate timeline. We had confirmation on that. So we will be making one soon, but I think that's gonna be after the Aviation movie. Wink wink video up here comes out. There's the walkers absolutely being decimated by a swarm of RX-8s. That's just a comforting way for this video to end. I personally think the video almost felt like a trailer, like a prologue to the Aviation movie, like just a brief summary of the events. Anything with Alita at the monument that I talked about with the old man, that part of World of Warcraft 2021, that's obviously part of something else. I think that is directly tied to the Aviation movie because she goes in the Aviation hut, as I dubbed it in my last video, and then she goes into this AR world that is the show, I believe. And that all to me ties in with the Aviation movie. So I feel like that would actually be happening before this, however, because this guy is completely decimated. Otherwise, unless they can just magically rebuild it and pretend there's no runes anywhere. Same with, All Falls Down, Darkseid, and Diamond Heart. I mean, that all happened after the Solar Storm, but there wasn't really Red Nexus involved because they weren't written into the story yet. But again, all these monuments were whole, so you really can't ignore that. You can ignore the fact that Red Nexus isn't present, but you can't ignore the fact that the monuments would just randomly be rebuilt. That's a really big plot hole if that were to exist. My current thought is this goes at the very end of the timeline. Like, this is the very far future. We're also just going to ignore the 83-year gap and the dates on the boxes that are pulled out of the ground because those probably don't match up anymore. Everything had such nice intentions, but when things keep getting tacked on, certain details will have to fall out inevitably. So I think these are just some of those minor things. Regarding the flashback, flash forward thing, I'm not really sure if it's really a flashback. I don't even know. I think it just feels like they needed her to go and do something, but they also needed to fill the rest with content. I don't know if it's necessarily plot functional so much as it is just like functional in terms of getting the video moving, if that makes any sense. So I'm not really going to read too much into this. The point is that Red Nexus was attacking the walkers and some of them were captured. Maybe some of them died, but we don't know yet. Obviously, Alita didn't die because she's there at the end, but I think she's waiting. It's a symbolic moment, in my opinion, and the reason I think this is because we actually saw the actor who plays Lily or 28300 at this same location. And I can't imagine they would have brought her all the way to this underwater restaurant where this was filmed to just not have her be a part of this. The Aviation movie, because she was shown in that trailer, and I can't imagine they would just bring her back into relevance to never show her again. I think she is going to be the bridge between the old era and the new era through the movie. Because if you think about her era, she lives before the Solar Storm and Alita lives way long after. So obviously they wouldn't be able to meet in real life in their current ages and forms unless the timeline is completely different than what I thought. So my current thought is they're going to end up meeting, if meeting at all, within this AR Aviation tour world. Because we know that 28300 was being filmed at the concert, so we know she's going to be involved there, and we know that Alita was also on stage as a character during the show. So I think this is their passing period. The passing off of the mantle officially from 28300 to 88888 or whatever her name is. I think that's maybe part of the purpose of the movie. I also want to address these posts made by Salem Elise, who sang the song. I think, personally, because she's in her Walker outfit, she's got a Walker ID 83, and she wasn't in this music video at all, like, whatsoever. But obviously she was sent the outfit or the patches for a reason, so something would have been filmed at the library. Keep calling it a library. It's the Red Nexus headquarters, but in reality it's a library. So my two thoughts are, one, she's in the Aviation movie because we already know that Alan has other collaborators in the movie. We have Steve Aoki, we probably have others as well that are going to be featured in the film as a character, as someone who deals with drones and with stuff, aside from just being live at the performance. So that's one thought, is that she could maybe be part of this as a character, or it's some sort of live performance or alternate music video similar to what we saw with Heading Home and Alone Part 2 live, where maybe she does a live performance of the song at that location. Oh, also, before I forget, everything we saw shot in Prague as well, we never saw any footage of, and I think that really seemed in line with the style of this footage. It was very abandoned, it was very rugged, so I think that could easily be an expansion on how Red Nexus could come into this universe. We have a video on that up here. I know I keep plugging all of our other videos, but in all reality, this is, well, I do want you to watch the videos. There's such a lot to discuss, and I can't re-explain everything in every video without it being like 40 minutes long. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you liked it, maybe leave a thumbs up. We try to do monthly-ish uploads, so if you're interested, you can consider subscribing, and if not, then don't subscribe. And I will see you guys next time.